Well, I tell you what, that was a brilliant game of football. A frustrating one, but a brilliant game of football. The goals are just playing back on my TV now. I think, well, there's a lot to unpack from this game, and we'll get into it straight away. One change for City was Delap coming in for Tufan. It's a change I expected to happen, although it's really harsh on Tufan. Coventry had a bit of a mix and match of a lineup, with players rested and what have you from the FA Cup. But anyway, first half, Coventry tweeted unlucky to be behind at the break. They had one shot, scored it, and 40% possession. We battered them first half. Not being funny. Philogene goal. Took a gamble taking the shot, and it's an absolute howler from Collins. But we take them. Taking a gamble is something we've not done enough of this season, and Philogene did incredibly well. Let me shut that up now. The goals have gone off. Philogene did. Like I say, took a risk trying it, but paid off. Absolute howler by Collins, though. It's straight at him, and he just sort of falls through his arms weirdly. The free kick. Look, some City fans are like, it's not a free kick at all. But for me, it's a case of some refs give it, some refs don't. And it's a great finish by Casey Palmer. So I think it's a lot to do with the fact we had Lee Doughty as the referee, and it was up to him in the moment to give it or not give it, and he gave it. I've got no qualms with the finish. It's unreal technique from Casey Palmer. And then the penalty. Look, I understand why Coventry are unhappy with it, because they had a man down. But ultimately, we had the ball. We're under no obligation to put the ball out. So we were well within our right to keep playing, and we did. And Joe Latibeaudiere, we just grabbed hold of Liam Delap and threw him to the floor ultimately. So it is a foul. And then Carvalho, good penalty. Good penalty. On another day, that does get saved, definitely, but Collins dived low, so Carvalho got away with it. I personally would have liked to have seen Liam Delap take it, and we'll talk on his performance in a second. Then that got us to half-time, and after the goal, after Carvalho's penalty, him and Philogene were getting pelters from Coventry fans all game. When they give a bit back, they have bottles and all sorts of stuff thrown at them. Because they give a bit back, they're booked. It wasn't an excessive celebration. Didn't jump into the crowd. Didn't point people out. Whatever. They just sort of did a general celebrate in front of them because it's funny, because they've been getting pelters all half long. Lee Doughty booked them both, weirdly. Which, right, if it's Philogene against Preston at home, where he jumped into the south stand, although it's annoying he's been booked, I get it. If the rule is you're booking people for celebrating excessively now, which I still think is a stupid rule, but that's the rule, it's quite obviously over the top. So fine. But that's not standing by the corner flag and just sort of cheering a bit because you've scored a penalty. That's not excessive at all. So I don't quite know what Lee Doughty was thinking for that. Then Hadji Wright and Ellis Sims came on, and we lost all the control we had in the game until I think Coventry started flagging and fatigue kicked in. The second goal for Coventry, 2-2, I have two main issues with that. One, the ball went out. Two, Ryan Allsop at his near post again, for goodness sake. That ball definitely went out. That's twice that's happened to us this season against Norwich and Coventry, two teams who, come this stage of the season are around us, where the ball went out, they didn't pick it up, and it cost us a goal. Norwich on the opening day, it led to a corner, and they scored from that. And then today, they recovered possession, put a cross in. Great cross, by the way. Bobby Thomas, brilliant header. But Allsop, man, you're near. I've never seen, I said this a few weeks ago, I've never seen a professional goalkeeper who's paid to play professional football be so consistently bad at their near post. It seems as though every week we're having this conversation that it's Ryan Allsop at his near post at fault for a goal again. Come on. For those wondering about why Matt Ingram's getting back on the bench and Ivor Pando isn't, if I'm honest, I think it's just a bit of like goodwill to what I'm not sure what the situation is with Pando, whether it's an injury reason or whatever. He's not been on the bench for Watford and for Coventry, but I think it's just a sort of like gesture of goodwill to Matty Ingram, sort of saying, look, you're going to be off at the end of the season. We'll put you in a few more matchday squads. That's all. That's what I think it is, to be quite honest. Yeah. Then our third. Another howler from Coventry, but Ohio. So Thomas tried to play it back to Collins. Collins sort of misjudged the pass or waited too long to try and kick the ball or whatever, and Ohio was just pressing like a madman, kept the pressure on, slotted it in. Yeah, superb, absolutely superb from Ohio. I'd have loved to have seen him get more chances. I would, because I think off the bench, that's exactly the sort of player he should have been for us, but no. Billy Sharp. I'm glad he brought Ohio on, not Billy Sharp, by the way, because Ohio is more similar to Delap, and now we've done the goals, we'll talk about Liam Delap's performance. He didn't do much in terms of having a shot or stuff like that, but he won the penalty. And he's a presence up there. Holds the ball up well, brings other players into play, has the ability to get the ball on the deck and run at players, charge away, sprint away if needed to. I honestly think I think there are a couple of factors, 3 factors, to why we've not got playoffs this season. They can argue whichever one's the biggest, but I think ultimately there are 3. Delap's fitness. If he'd been fit from that Sheff Wednesday game right the way through to now, I think we would definitely be in the playoffs. I think second one, not finishing our chances / not creating enough with loads of the ball. I think that sort of merges into one. And then I hate to make it a big thing, I really do, but when you look at games like Swansea, both goals really Ryan Allsop should have done better with. Watford at home, when he just didn't jump to try and make sure that Wesley Hoot's shot from the halfway line didn't go in. Yeah. And then that second goal tonight's another one that just sticks out. Luckily, we still won, but I think, put it this way, if Allsop ends next season as our number 1 and Ivor Pando is still sat on the bench or loaned out somewhere, then wow. what on earth is going on? And it's not really anything against Ryan in that statement. It's the fact we've paid £1.5 million for a highly rated young goalkeeper, and if he sat on the bench for 1.5 seasons, what really was the point? Anyway, yeah, good result. Playoffs, outside shot still, but still on. Right, if we beat Ipswich and Chef Wednesday do a job, then we're in there. If we don't beat Ipswich, even with a point, it's about done. Let's be honest. Right. See you on Friday for the preview, everyone. Take care. Up the Tigers. And Noah Ohio saves us, and turns 1 point into 3 for the second time this season. Come on!